Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing what makes your ex think of you. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing what makes your ex think of you. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you will need your ex to think of you. In today's podcast, I'm going to be discussing 3 situations where your ex is likely to think of you and potentially be one step closer to making contact. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is movies and music. When you consider the movies and music that you and your ex shared together, these are powerful memories which are going to be locked away in your ex's subconscious. This box of memories will be unlocked the next time they hear or see this type of media. So let's just give an example. Let's say that you and your ex, you saw a movie last year, you both really enjoyed it. You probably said to yourselves, this is the best movie, the best film I've seen all year. And then you don't see it for a while. You know, most times when you see a movie at the cinema, you don't see it for quite a while. But the next time you do, you're going to think back to that time. You're going to think, hey, when was the last time I saw this film? When did I last see this movie? Oh yeah, I remember. It's when I went to the cinema. Okay, and this doesn't matter how long ago it may have been. So let's say, for instance, you and your ex, you saw this film a while ago, and then unfortunately you've broken up. Well, months later, potentially, this movie is shown on TV, or maybe your ex sees it via a DVD or streaming or whatever, and they are automatically going to be thinking back to when they viewed this film. And if this was with you, they will be thinking of you. If you were sharing a lot of laughter, a lot of happiness, maybe even some romance connected to the movie, this is going to go into your ex's mind. These are the types of things, these are the types of triggers which can really play on somebody and take them back to that moment. So if you was having a great time, they will be thinking of that wonderful time, that wonderful experience that you shared. Now, music is something a little bit more famous, you might say, within this. You know, most people would probably say that they have a song with their partner, and hence they would have had a song with their ex. People say, hey, look, this is our song. This was our song. So if this music plays, if they're listening to it for whatever reason, again, they're going to be thinking of you. Now, maybe this is something which might make them feel sad. Maybe it will make them feel happy because they remember of happy times you spent together. But whatever the situation it may be, it's going to bring you into your ex's thoughts. And if you are doing everything right during this time, this is going to help you. Now, when I say doing everything right, what I mean is after the breakup has been settled, if you're treating your ex in a way which is going to increase the chance of you getting them back, then when they think of you, they're going to be thinking positive thoughts. If, however, you are treating them in a way which is going to be very unlikely to help get them back, then if they think of you, they're going to be thinking bad things. Even if the memory was positive, you'll probably be thinking, well, gosh, look back then, we had such a great time. But now my ex is really frustrating me. They're not respecting my decision. They're not treating me fairly after this point. Whoever you think is wrong during the breakup, you have to respect each other. And if you're a dumpee, the hardest thing can be to respect your ex's decision to end the relationship. But if you don't do that, you stand no opportunity of one day reconnecting. If you want support and help in how to increase the chance of your success of trying to hear from your ex again and eventually reconnect by building a brand new relationship, then you may want to speak with me one-on-one via my audio coaching service, more details of which can be found on my website, www.dateme.tips. the sooner you contact me, the sooner I can become your coach and, more importantly, your teammate during this journey. I can't guarantee you'll get your ex back, but what I can say is that this will increase your chance of getting them back, because I can give you the hints, tips and advice, as well as the strategy of how to increase those chances. And even if you don't get them back, you will then be in a much better position to move forward with your life and find somebody even better. So point number 1 about what makes your ex think of you: movies and music. What you've done in the past is going to certainly help your chances in the future of them thinking about you. And if you've done enough of the right things, when they think about you, they may just want to reach out. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about what makes your ex think of you. And point number 2 is locations. So the locations that you and your ex share together are automatically going to be things that you both think of if and when you go to those locations again. Now, these can be very elaborate or very, very basic and simplistic. I'll give you an example of both. Maybe an elaborate location is somewhere you went on holiday together, somewhere you went on vacation together. If you go somewhere with your ex where you shared a great holiday, a great vacation, maybe you went hundreds or thousands of miles away, those are the type of memories which are going to stick forever. And if for whatever reason you or your ex goes back to that location, they are automatically going to think of you just as you will of them. Now you might be thinking, well, it's not likely. Why would they go back somewhere thousands of miles away? It was really, really hard for us to get there in the first place. They're not going to go back. Well, okay, then how about I tell you a more simplistic example of a location? Maybe you and your ex always used to go to a certain cafe once a week because you really enjoyed the laid-back atmosphere. You know, you might have gone there every week because it was local to where you live, local to where you work. Whatever your situation, you might just go somewhere very simplistic, very close to home, but this will also count in the memory bank. And more beneficially, there is even more chance of them going to somewhere which is very close by than, of course, somewhere which is really far away. Whether you went to a pub, a bar, a cafe, whatever it may be, maybe you went to a club, a group or a class together. These are the things which will make your ex think of you. Now, of course, if this is something that you and your ex went to a lot, and your ex is likely to still continue to go a lot of times, then eventually the thoughts regarding you two at the location will wane somewhat. You know, they're going to be thinking of you the first time they go back there, and periodically from therein. But if they're going every single week, then yes, it is true, they will start to build new memories when you are not there. However, even if you worry about this being the case, you have to realise that there will be certain instances which will still count as triggers. Maybe something really silly and ridiculous, like you're at a cafe and one day you drop something. Okay, maybe it even was quite embarrassing at the time. Well, maybe after months and months of your ex going there on their own or with friends or with family, somebody drops something, and if they do, they're going to be thinking of you. And you might think, well, that was embarrassing, that was stupid. But it doesn't matter. It will be a memory that makes them think of you. And if they're thinking of you, and as I said earlier, if you're doing everything right, then this will mean there is an excellent chance that they will see you in a positive light. They will miss the interactions you had, the locations you went, the media that you shared, and this can give you every opportunity of one day hearing from your ex again. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about what makes your ex think of you. And point number 3 is your silence is deafening. So if you've been dumped, I strongly suggest that you never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. There are caveats to that rule. It is not definitive, but generally speaking, that is the generalized advice I would give you. Again, if you want more specialized advice regarding your unique situation, you may want to speak with me one-on-one via audio coaching. Check out my website for more details. However, generally speaking, never contact your ex again unless they contact you first if you are the dumpee. And hence, if you do this, you will be implementing my version of the no contact rule. Again, there are other elements to this, but I'm just being general here. If you implement my version of a no contact rule, this is something that you may have heard of, the no contact rule. You may have heard this can give you a chance of getting your ex back. But let me tell you, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online. And I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. So I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and really immerse yourself in my version of a rule by listening to the playlist all of the way through entitled The No Contact Rule. Now, if you are going through no contact right now, let me know in the YouTube comments how you're feeling about it and how many days or weeks or even months are you in so far. My version of a rule will not only help you grow as a person and go through breakup recovery, but it has the additional benefit of course, increasing the chance of hearing from your ex again because your silence is deafening. Now, this doesn't mean that you ignore your ex if they contact you. That is not my version of a no contact rule. My version of a rule is if you have been dumped, never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. Silence is deafening. Somebody can't miss you if you're always in their life. And if you are a dumpee, you need your ex to miss you. You can't live in a way where they're thinking, well, I don't have to miss my ex because they're always around. They're texting me every week or every month. I have nothing to worry about. If I need a plan B, they're right over there. You can't have that. You need your ex to miss you. You need your ex to genuinely believe that they will never hear from you again unless they make the effort to reach out to you. And you can do this by implementing my version of a no contact rule. Honestly, silence is deafening. It's a lot more beneficial to you than shouting from the rooftops, please come back to me, begging, pleading, reasoning. These aren't going to help. You sometimes think I need to do an action to get my ex back, but it's actually your inaction, the inaction of reaching out, which gives you the best opportunity. I would actually say that is an action rather than an inaction. It's the action of staying stable-minded and focusing on you and your own journey. Now listen, I'm not telling you to clock watch. I'm not telling you to sit at home twiddling your thumbs, waiting for your ex to contact you, because I can't guarantee you'll ever get them back. I can't guarantee that they will ever contact you again. But what I can say is that it will increase your chance of success if you don't contact them first. That doesn't mean you sit at home. It means you live your life to the full, making new connections and living in a way where if your ex could see you right now, they'd be thinking, wow, they don't even need me. And that is what you need. You need your ex to believe that you aren't going to be waiting for them. Because if they think you are, they've got no hurry to contact you. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.